At this time, I call the January meeting of the County Commission to order. I have with us tonight my pastor, Reverend James, Martin's Crossroads Church. Will bring us our invocation. We'll remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Commissioner Tankersley.
Amen. Let's all pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather here together tonight, this evening, to conduct the business, Lord, of this county, first I thank you for an opportunity to stand before these leaders and to stand before this people. And Lord, to be able to pray and ask for your wisdom and your guidance. I don't take that lightly. It's a privilege and an honor, and I thank you for that. But now, Lord, I ask that you visit us tonight by your Spirit. God, that your will as to the progress and to the prosperity and to the peace for this great people of this county. I pray, Lord, that you show our leaders their purpose, enlighten them, that they may know how to accomplish their goals and the tasks that are at hand. I ask you would lead and guide them, that you would direct their thoughts, Lord, and their words and their decisions in such a way that not only would it be beneficial to the people of the county, but that their actions might be according to your divine will. I ask, Lord, that you would give them knowledge of the situations at hand, and then your supernatural wisdom to know what to do with the knowledge that you give them as they will go forward and make decisions. Some may be easy, some will be difficult. But Lord, I pray that you give them the wisdom that they need. I pray you'd unify them together, that they would make the best possible decision and then be able to effectively carry their decision out. May they discover your wisdom, because not only are you omnipresent, you're ever here, and not only are you omnipotent, all-powerful, but Lord, you're omniscient, and you know all things. And Father, whether we have a meeting here tonight or whether it's in a state or a nation, nothing will ever really be accomplished until we pull out a chair and invite you by way of the Holy Spirit to sit among us and to help us in our decision making. So tonight, Lord, I pull that chair out. I invite you in, and I pray, God, that you would deal and speak and talk, Lord, to your leaders, to your people. I pray not only would we have wisdom, but would have diligence to seek after you, and would be sensitive to your voice, and be patient as we listen to what you have to say. And I pray your blessings on Mr. Larry Collins and Mr. Stan Tankersley and Mr. Cooper Clyde, Mr. Brian Henderson, and the chairman of the board, Mr. Walker Norman. We desire your glory, your blessings, and all that is done tonight. And I also ask, Lord, that you remember those who may be less fortunate than us. Remember them, bless them, and encourage them as we move forward in 20 and 23. And we pray that you would have your way. And I pray, God, that you would help America. And God, that you would bless America. And we ask these and all things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will give, which is customary, the county's state of the county address. Commissioner Tankersley, Commissioner Clyde, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Henderson, Clerk McKellar, County Attorney Jackson, Lincoln County's constitutional officers, department heads, and my fellow Lincoln Countyans. It is with great pleasure and privileged honor that I give you my 31st State of the County address. I once again want to honor our public employees. I want to recognize our department heads, your dedicated employees, for all you do to provide the services that our citizens are accustomed to and expect. This year, I especially want to brag on our Public Works Department, Utilities and Roads Division for working faithfully and willingly during the holidays. They were out working Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, all holidays, when they should have and wanted to be home with their families. But due to the extreme freeze and a declared emergency, because of frozen and busted water lines, they were called in to work in temperatures below freezing. I would like to also thank Mayor Mike McCombs, who's here tonight, and the employees of the city water plant and the city water department for working 24 hours a day for several days to keep our water tanks and our customers with water. We were losing over 1 million gallons of water a day to busted water lines. Director Seymour, I salute you and all your employees. To the members of the Board of Commissioners and staff, together we will continue to deliver our citizens a government that is conscious of the people's money that we use to fund the operations of this government in the most economical way we can. The county's public safety employees, a lot of them here tonight, that includes law enforcement and jail under the leadership of Sheriff Revere, the Office of Emergency Services, Emergency Management, 911 Communications, and fire departments all work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to protect the lives and property of Lincoln County citizens and those who visit Georgia's freshwater coast. Emergency operations, the commissioners voted to fund this position temporarily in the second half of our budget year that began in January of 2023. It is my intention to ask for another position in the 2023-24 budget for another full-time fire position to begin in January 2004. We will work with our 4 volunteer fire departments to better serve our citizens. I can't thank our volunteer fire personnel enough for the dedication to our citizens. The county budgeted approximately $150,000 to our volunteer fire departments in 2022. Work will begin on the second phase of the agriculture building located on Roland York Road, adjacent to the Curry Carving Complex. The commissioners awarded the low bid for an 88 by 140 foot building that will become a new show arena at a cost of $228,000. Construction should start within the next 60 days. Total cost of this project will be approximately $500,000, with funds coming from a state grant of $300,000, U.S. Department of Agriculture, $90,000, and county funds through special purpose local option sales tax and in-kind contributions of approximately $100,000. I would like to thank Senator Lee Anderson and Representative Rob Leverett for getting state money. Without that, this would not have been obtainable for the county. As the commissioners continue to communicate with sale providers, the county received 2 new towers from Verizon that are now in operation. One located on Double Branches Road at Martin's Crossroads, and one tower 1 mile southeast of Lincolnton on the Augusta Highway. Another tower has been erected on Highway 220 West near Woodlawn. that will be activated in the near future. This will provide much better service for the south and southeastern part of our county. We are continuing to ask for service in the north end of the county, which has almost no cell service. Last year, the commission voted to appropriate $70,000 for renovations to the 36-year-old Lincoln Center, with funds coming from Splash 6. I'm happy to announce tonight that the Leisure Services and the Board of Elections have both been temporarily relocated to the gym at the Curry Carving Complex while the renovations are being made. At the request of Clerk of Courts Bandy Doss, scanning equipment was purchased at a cost of $76,000, with funds coming from the American Rescue Plan funds for historical indexing of real estate records for the years 1923 to 1986. The Department of Public Works, under the direction of Director Robbie Seymour, performed 1,728 building inspections and issued 840 building permits. 85 new residential permits, up from last year, representing $28,915,603. The average home built in Lincoln County in 2022 was $340,183. In comparison, new residential homes in McDuffie County in 2022 were 69. Wilkes County, 12. Warren County, 15. Our utilities division, consisting of water and wastewater, acquired the Fishing Creek Water System, consisting of 1 well and 22 customers. The Roads and Bridges Division began resurfacing Price Reese Road, Bass Road, Broad Acres, and Thankful Church Roads. We started on Broad River Scenic Drive, but due to the weather, it was not completed. Neither was Greenwood Church Road and Graball Road. These roads will be completed in the early spring. We also crack sealed Hepzibah Church Road, Lewis Family Road, and Maxim Road. These projects were funded with local maintenance improvement grants and transportation special purpose local option sales tax monies, totaling $404,000. The Office of Emergency Services, under the direction of Director Casey Broom, responded to 1,492 calls for service, averaging 4 ambulance calls a day, as well as 31 fire rescue calls in 2022. The Emergency Medical Services Division has maintained a yearly average response time of 8 minutes and 38 seconds for ambulance calls, and fire call response time is an average of 9 minutes and 32 seconds. The Recreation Department, under Director Latrellis Glaze, in conjunction with the Lincoln County Family Connection, sponsored a summer camp held at the complex 4 days a week in June and July, serving some 60 Lincoln County young people. For the 3rd year, the Recreation Department, along with Mr. Gibb Hurst and others, sponsored a Road Legends toy drive to help Lincoln County children experience a wonderful Christmas. The Recreation Department, with Ms. Carrie Ball from the Lincoln County High School, enhanced the life skills of special needs students by teaching different cleaning techniques. Director Glaze worked with Pop Warner and Little League to provide the fields and other services, and served approximately 350 young people in the spring and fall. The Recreation Department also provided basketball during the winter months of January through March, soccer August through October, and will offer for the first time this year flag football March through June. And we are also hoping to add a new pickleball court at the complex this spring. The Lincoln County Library, under the director Kerry Pardon, has proudly served over 13,000 patrons in 2022. The meeting room at the Dover Potteridge Annex was used approximately 43 times for events that served the public. The summer reading program had almost 380 Lincoln County young participants. The Lincoln County Department of Leisure Services Nutrition Division, under Director Nancy Blunt, has been rebuilding this year after the COVID pandemic. We are now up and running full force with numbers increasing daily. The change of food vendors for the hot meals was a challenge. And for Director Blunt and her staff, we are looking forward to bringing hot meals back in 2023. The Lincoln County Department of Leisure Services Transit Division has expanded services to include Augusta. The Transit Division carries clients to Augusta every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Transit services are provided around Lincoln County, Wilkes County, and McDuffie County. Lincoln County Leisure Services Transit Division is open to carry all citizens of Lincoln County for your medical or shopping needs, regardless of age or income. Under the direction of Extension Director Robin Stewart, the University of Georgia Lincoln County Extension Office had 2,779 individuals sought assistance from the Lincoln County Extension. The office had 67 site visits that were made upon request, with 42 issues of concerns. 147 samples were submitted to the University of Georgia Agricultural Laboratories, primarily for soil, water, and microbacterial testing. 59 educational sessions were taught in the area of agriculture and natural resources. 33 additional events and programs were coordinated with assistance from the Agricultural and Natural Resources Agency. 1,778 participants in programs representing international, national, state, and local audiences. 100% of programs showed an increase in knowledge of participants and intended behavioral changes to improve management practices. The 4-H program has 157 participants enrolled and held 42 core club meetings in school. 30 additional opportunities were offered for 4-Hers to fundraisers, to provide services and learn about agriculture, including farm safety camp. 4-H horse shows, farm day for pre-K, district project achievements, summer camp, recipes and reading, farmyard funds, summer reading, and conservation day for the youth. The Agriculture Center was used with over 25 events, meetings, and programs. And Extension Agent Robin Stewart was approved for promotion to Public Service Association by committee at the district, state, and the University of Georgia. She also wrote 48 articles for the local newspaper, as well as maintaining 2 Facebook pages and the Extension website. The Technology and Media Services Department under Director Johnny Walton has begun upgrading, replacing, and standardizing the county's networking equipment to provide better services, reduce downtime, and improve the county's overall use of technology. The computer and data security has been significantly enhanced in recent months, with those efforts continuing in 2023. Also in 2023, Lincoln County Television, LCTV, formerly our community cable channel, will be reborn as our social media presence. Many Red Devil football games from the past 2 decades are now available and more are coming on the county's YouTube channel. A strong effort is underway to centralize storage of the county's records into one well-organized location at the county's records retention office located on School Street. This includes relocating records that have been stored in the courthouse attic for decades. New surveillance cameras are now being installed that will improve the physical security at the detention center, the gym, the courthouse, and all buildings on the courthouse complex. Under the direction and leadership of Ernie Doss and Dawn Aycock, E911 Communications Department became a department of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners in September of 2022. I will ask and begin working with this commission, along with Directors Aycock and Walton, for major updates to the equipment and facilities. For the 2022 year, 2,881 911 calls were answered, and 27,276 administration calls were answered, for a total of 30,167 calls received by our 911 dispatchers. That's an average of 83 calls per day. Later in this meeting, I will recommend to this board that Ms. Aycock become the director of Lincoln County 911 Dispatch Center. Director Doss will continue to provide administrative assistance, and Director Walton will provide technology assistance. The Finance Department under Director Ernie Doss has made major improvements to the Finance Department during the calendar year 2022. We implemented a new accounting system, ERP Pro 10 by Tyler Technologies Incorporated. Tyler is a leader in government accounting systems. We have also implemented new employee self-service web portal that allows all county employees to access their pay and other human resources information from any internet-capable device. Director Doss's office provided grant assistance and service to workforce development and family connections. He is currently rolling out web access to ERP Pro 10 for all department directors. When completely implemented in the first quarter of 2023, this access will give the managers real-time access to their budget details. Director Doss worked with the Public Works Department to roll out customer self-service portal for web payments for utility bills and upgraded the county's merchants account and equipment to be able to take credit card payments for almost all county provided services. We are now taking credit card payments in the water department, planning and permits, code enforcement, and the commissioner's office, and we'll be rolling it out to more county departments this year. He is in the process of updating vendor files for the county's 800-plus vendors and has completed mandatory reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture grants, American Rescue Plan, One Georgia, Department of Community Affairs, Hotel Motel Tax, Georgia Department of Audits, and has completed the budgets and immigration reporting. Director Doss has provided me with the year-end balances for 2022 of all county funds. General Fund, $4,633,152. Hotel Motel, $61,316. Drug Education Fund, $37,288. E911 Fund, $97,417. Family Connection Fund, $92,647. Jail Fee Fund, $21,620. Splash 6 Fund, $530,042. Splash 7 Fund, $808,066. T-Splash Fund, $662,402. Solid Waste Fund, $650,819. Water Fund, $554,381. The Law Library, $8,753. Workforce Development, $56,200. American Rescue Plan Fund, $1,420,657. Bank funds as of December 31st, 2022 was $9,634,763. Our investment accounts with Raymond James 6-month CD, $500,000. Raymond James 12-month CD, $1,100,000. Raymond James 18-month CD, $500,000. Farmers and Merchants Bank 12-month CD, $28,160. Account balances in investment, $2,128,160. Account balances as of December the 31st, 2022 was $11,762,923. The FY 2022 general fund budget was $7,329,649. The FY 23 general fund budget is $8,311,056, which includes a one-time federal funding for capital projects of $821,000, leaving a 2.19% increase over the FY 22 budget. FY 23 budget for all funds is $16,137,835 as we begin the new year of 2023. I am proud to announce once again that the county's finances are in excellent condition. As always, I am honored for the privilege to serve as your chairman, and I look forward to working with each commissioner as together we continue to make Lincoln County a better place. May God bless you, and may God bless Lincoln County. Thank you. I think I'll take a little sip of this. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Tanksley. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 6 is the approval of the agenda, but I want to move agenda item number 21, which is the Pitney Bowes contract, to the February meeting. Madam Clerk, if you'll see to it, that's on the February agenda. That's removed at the request of Director Seymour. Is there a motion that we approve the agenda as printed and with the deletion?
I made the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. All right, let me get my paperwork over here. Where is it? This time we have on item 7, the recognition of a 27-year veteran of the county's Planning and Zoning Board, Mr. Coleman Kennedy, honorably, proudly, with dedication and professionalism, served not only the 3rd District, but Lincoln County as a whole. Mr. Kennedy, I don't know what they're gonna do without you after 27 years. If you would, come over this way. Johnny, if you would, if you could get that camera straightened in, we'll take a picture if you would. I see Lincoln Journal back there taking one for us too. Mr. Kennedy, come on up here closer where we can get you on this thing. I know being a good deacon at White Rock Baptist Church, you got a lot you want to say. But I want to ask Director Seymour if he has something he would like to say before I present this to you.
I do, real quick. I just want to say that I appreciate the time that you have put into the Planning and Zoning Board. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you for the last 15 years. I know you've been on 27, but it's been an absolute pleasure. And I appreciate everything you've done, not only for the Planning and Zoning Board, but for Lincoln County.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Kennedy, we've been together a long time.
Yes.
But we want to present this to you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, Planning and Zoning Board, the people of Lincoln County. That says presented to Coleman Kennedy in recognition and appreciation for your 27 years of dedicated service and guidance on the Lincoln County Planning and Zoning Board. August the 2nd, 1994 to December the 31st, 2022. Congratulations, and you're going to be missed, and this microphone's yours. Just stand up here and
Thank you,
say what
Mr.
you
Chairman.
want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Seymour.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to say, thank you to the Board of Commissioners, the commissioners that appointed me all these years, those that are here, those that are gone. It has really been a pleasure to serve on this very important board that started in August of 1994. Like Mr. James said, commissioners, sometimes we make tough decisions. But fortunately, we had a guide to go by. So I know someone probably wasn't happy at some of our decisions, but we did what we thought was right, what our manual required for us to do. Once again, I'd just like to say thank you to the chairman, Mr. Clyde, for appointing me for my last years of the commission. Those that, it's been so long ago, I don't even remember who appointed me the first. But I know back when we were writing the ordinance, Mr. Norman invited me, asked me to serve on that board, and I've been there ever since. And I thank Lincoln County. It has been a pleasure serving on this commission with Mr. Seymour and the other directors along the way. And for the board and the county for accepting me all these years. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Item 8 is the appointment of the county clerk. This is something that's done by county code every 2 years. Let me just say that the county clerk's responsibilities, a part of her responsibilities, are recording the Board of Commissioners' official actions. preparing correspondence and reports, maintaining county records, human resources, and any other responsibilities and duties that the chairman of the commission asked her to do. She has served in that capacity now for, I guess, about 7 to 8 years. She does a good job, and this is an appointment that has to also be approved by the board. And I'm going to ask for a motion to reappoint Clerk McKellar.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the vote of the clerk to the Board of Commissioners? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. I don't hear any. You're reappointed for your 2-year term. Number 9 is the appointment of the county attorney. The primary functions of the county attorney is tough. It's to advise the Board of Commissioners and other county constitutional officers and department heads to prepare legal documents, to review proposed ordinances, contracts, and he represents the county when we go to court. Mr. Ben Jackson has been the county attorney, I think, since about 2013. Is that correct? I inherited him.
10 years this month,
10
Chairman.
years this month, okay.
Yes, sir.
This is also an appointment by the Board of Commissioners to represent the county for the next 2 years. Is there a motion that we reappoint the county attorney?
I made the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion of the county attorney? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, and the motion is carried. Congratulations, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the board.
Where did you say we were going to eat when we left here?
Wherever you want.
Item 10 is the appointment of the vice chairman. Commissioner Cooper Clyde has served in that position for the last 4 years. And he, I think, is prepared to make a motion to give it away.
I am, Mr. Chairman.
But the County Code Section 2-57 requires that the Board of Commissioners select a vice chairman at the beginning of every odd number calendar year. The duties of the vice chairman is to fill the duties of the chairman if the chair is not in attendance at a meeting. Mr. Clyde, do you have a motion?
I'd like to make the motion, we nominate Mr. Commissioner Brian Henderson as new vice chair.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Tankersley, to have Commissioner Henderson to serve as the vice chairman. Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Clyde?
You only laid out one time, only got to conduct one meeting, and I hope you treat Brian a little better. Let him do that next state of the county deal.
I think it'd be shorter.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no discussion, no other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. The motion is carried. Commissioner Henderson, welcome to the vice chairman. I will be out, I know, one time this year,
Thanks for the warning.
where I can at least watch and see what happens when it's on. Thank you for accepting that position. Item 11 is the appointment of a 911 director. For those of you that don't really know how this works, She will become the 11th, I think, department head in Lincoln County's government that's appointed by the commission. Department heads are recommended by whomever is the chair, and he has to have approval by the county commission or you can't appoint the department head. So at this time, I'm satisfied they're going to because this wasn't a surprise on the commission. Ms. Aycock has served as the 911 supervisor for I don't know how many years, good while. I think, I've been back here the last 6 years and she's been there. Since September, she has worked along with Director Doss, who used to be over the 911 at one point in his career with Lincoln County government, and Director Walton, to work with her since we took the 911 over in September. She's done an excellent job. She's been highly praised by these two that have worked with her. She's dedicated, she's professional. I know we don't have a whole lot of scanners now, but I do have where I can hear them. And I don't think we've ever had anybody any better as far as the clear voice of going out over that radio as Dawn Aycock does. I look forward to working with you if the commissioners approve you. And we got a lot of challenges and a lot of things we want to do at 911 that we'll be talking about over the next few months. I'd like to place into nomination and recommend Dawn Aycock for the county's 911 director. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. And for those of you that don't know, Director Walton, if you could turn that camera around and get a good picture of her. Stand up, Dawn. She's our new 911 director. Well, Dawn, we look forward to working with you. Now you got another meeting to go to. You'll be at department head meeting every month, okay? Look forward to it. Thank you for accepting and thank you for the job you do. Item number 12 is the committee appointments that we do every 2 years. Since the commission didn't change, Commissioner Collins and Commissioner Henderson tonight began their new 4-year term. And we have 4 standing committees. We have a committee on finance. And I am asking Commissioner Collins to chair the committee on finance along with Commissioner Clyde. We have the committee on recreation. I'm asking Commissioner Henderson to serve as chairman of recreation along with Commissioner Tankersley. The committee on public works. I've asked Commissioner Clyde to serve as chairman along with Commissioner Henderson. And on the committee on general government, I should have told y'all what went under every one of those committees, but I've asked Commissioner Tankersley to serve as chairman along with Commissioner Collins. So these will be the ones that serve on these 4 standing committees for the next 2 years. The chair is a ex officio officer of all 4 of the standing committees, and I pretty much attend all of those meetings. So that will be our committee appointments for the next 2 years. Departmental reports, the Office of Emergency Services, Director Broom. Director Broom's walking up here like an old man, as y'all can tell, but he's not quite old as Commissioner Collins, but he has had a lot of problems with his back. He's had major back surgery not too many weeks ago, and he's trying to get back into the swing of things. Go ahead.
I come prepared, Mr. Chairman.
I see you did.
Commissioners, Chairman and Commissioners, you have my submitted report. I have nothing to add to that at this time. If there are any questions, I would.
Any questions, Director Broom? Okay, thank you. Moving right along, Recreation Department, Director Glaze is meeting with the Little League Board tonight and asked to be excused. You have his report that's in your book. Finance, Director Dawes.
Chairman, Commissioners, you have my printed reports. I don't have anything to add.
Any questions to Director Dawes? If not, we'll move right along to 13D is Public Works Director Seymour.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. You have all of my written reports. I do not have anything to add to those. Unless you have questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those.
Any questions, Director Seymour? As always, if you do, and when you need him, you know how to get in touch with him. That concludes the agenda item 13A through D. Now we're getting down to some different things. It's not often that we have somebody that wants to do what Ms. Renee Hall and her people want to do, but Commissioner Clyde emailed me the day he saw this and said, boy, we need to jump on this quick. Ms. Hall, if you would, whoever's going to speak here, all three of you, if you would, come to the podium. And whoever's going to speak, if you would, just state your name and your address, please. Or you can just say Lincoln, Georgia, if you'd rather not put out your address.
All right, Mr. Commissioners, Board of Commissioners, citizens of Lincoln County, well, we just want to thank you on behalf of Senior Beta, Harry Ball, the co-chair with Senior Beta, along with Mr. Childs, and myself, Renee Hall, as a parent, and my daughter is here representing the members of Senior Beta tonight. A lot of them had other appointments, so these kids are busy. But thank you for the opportunity to present this to you. We have a project proposal that Ms. Carey came up with last October. We went to a leadership summit, and that's what this is. I think it was in your folders. And it just shows you what the kids presented. And I guess they did such a great job. The Lord blessed them, and they were able to make it to nationals this June. So what we need to do is make good on our word and our proposal that we had in October. So that's what we're here to do tonight, to present that to you all. And Amelia Hall is going to give that proposal.
Good evening. As part of the Leadership Summit, as Mom said, this past October, our Senior Beta Club proposed to clean up our community. And as members of Senior Beta, we want to put our proposal in motion and live out the National Beta motto, let us lead by serving others. By planning and implementing cleanup days and to help keep our community safe and clean, we know that we can make a difference. In order to make our project successful, we will need you to partner with us so we will be able to accomplish our goal of keeping our community clean. The ways that we would ask y'all to help us to serve our community is to help us setting up routes and locating areas that need cleaning, providing opportunities to educate others about what we're doing and our purpose, to help us supply the materials we need, like vests, gloves, trash bags, and the trash grabbers, and to help us coordinate dates for our project action. Our projected cost for the project is $200. For 2 packs, which would be 12 grabbers tools, it would be $80. For 3 packs of work gloves, which would be 15 pairs, it would be $18. For 20 trash bags, it would be $40. And for 20 reflective vests, it would cost $50. We appreciate your support and for allowing us to propose our project this evening, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Amen.
It's good to see the Lincoln County High School and the Beta Club wanting to do something like this. Ms. Ball, do you want to say anything? One step up there a little closer and I'll pick you up.
Well, as co-chair of the Beta Club this year, we're just very proud of our students. Our Senior Beta Club has never really done much in way of getting involved in the Senior Beta Summits or competitions. So Ms. Childs and I partnered this year, and we looked into it and researched it, and we decided to get some input from the students who would be interested in participating. And we were able to take 3 teams to Great Wolf Lodge in October, and they participated in 3 different challenges. So one team, the team that Amelia was on, they had to present a project proposal. Those girls, her along with 3 other girls, actually won, placed us in nationals for that competition, and they scored exceptional in every area that they were judged in. Our other 2 teams of students, one team had to go and do a cognitive abilities challenge. They didn't score exceptional in every category, but almost every category, and they did very well, placed us in nationals. And then our 3rd team had to come up with a type of project proposal, but they didn't know what the problem was until they got to Great Wolf Lodge. Then they were given the problem, and they had to come up with a real-world solution. And they placed in nationals as well. So our first time going with our Lincoln County Students for Beta Club, and all 3 of our teams placed for the National Beta Club competition. So we're very proud of them, and very proud of her for coming tonight and speaking to y'all. We're also going to the state competition next. That will be the end of January, and we're taking about 16 students there, and they're going to be presenting and taking part in different challenges there as well. So if they place there, those teams will also be able to go to nationals in June, which will be held in Kentucky. And really, Beta is just about service, something that I feel like is very lacking this day and time. And to get that back in our schools and back into the community, I feel like this is going to better prepare our students to go out into the real world and be the citizens that I know that we want them to be, successful, prosperous, contributing citizens to our society. So I thank you for listening to our proposal and our students.
Listen, we honored that you'd want to do this. Young lady, you did a good job with that speaking. You really did. We appreciate what you wanting to do. We appreciate you coming to the commission, and I know that we have a few things logistics that need to be worked out as far as setting up some routes and locating some areas that need cleaning. I will, whichever one of y'all that wants to work with us, we'll do it, but this will probably be mostly in Director Seymour's hands. He gets thrown a lot of stuff. But we'll work with y'all. I know the commissioners want to. And do y'all have anything y'all want to say to them?
Just thank you for.
Appreciate you doing it, yeah.
Okay.
Amen. Glad to have the help.
Without objection, we'll go ahead and do this, and I hear no objection, so we don't really have to have a vote on this, but we'll be glad to work with you. Contact me. We'll get in touch with Director Seymour, and we'll identify some areas that need to be done. If any of these commissioners know of any, let me or Director Seymour know.
So our next step would be to contact Seymour?
That'd be fine.
Okay,
Okay.
we can do that.
You
Thank you.
can't get him, call me.
Okay.
Thank you so
Or
much.
you can tell me at Ball's.
Would you all allow us to get a picture for our web thing, Ms. Terry, for our schools?
Sure. Yeah.
You want me to stand there?
Y'all picked Douglas Commission to be up there.
I know y'all enjoying it, but you're welcome to leave, but if you want to stay, stay. I don't blame you. That's mighty nice. Mr. Allen Gold would say that was mighty nice. Okay, item 15, Santee Street deed. Miss Kristen Jones let me rephrase that, Miss Kristen Turner Jones. Director Seymour, you might as well get close to, you're gonna have to direct this traffic.
Good evening, Commissioners and Chairman. I believe what we're here to do today is, I'm here on behalf of the Sapp family to present the deed in regards to Track B. You'll recall in November, the commission voted to abandon Santee Street in order to then dispose of it. After some discussions, it was determined that Track B would be able to be disposed to the Sapp, who I'm here representing tonight, who own Track A and C on that plat. So we are asking tonight that the deed as presented, which will use the revised plat presented by Mr. Jim Madison, showing tracks A, B, C, D, and E, that will be what is recorded with our deed. We will hold the deed, and there were some issues with Mr. Madison, so we are waiting for clearance from him before recording the deed. Prior to tonight's meeting, I did present the deed to Clerk McKellar in order to present for signature and review, which I also presented prior to the meeting for review by the county attorney. And then, if you will notice, with my deed, there is also a copy of the new revised plat, as well as a copy of the letter presented by the U.S. government and the Corps of Engineers in regards to their versionary interest in the property, how it's just kind of standard for lake property, but they're not going to pursue that, do not anticipate on ever pursuing it, and their declaration that Santee Street is not does not serve a government or public purpose.
Okay. You would just,
Yes, sir.
you and Mr. Jackson, I know which track we're looking at after Mr. Madison presented this new one. I know that the people are here, Mr. Sapp and Mr. Carruthers, both are here. What's the other one's name? The other party here too?
No, sir, it's just the two.
All right, that track D stays intact, I
That is
understand
correct.
that. All right, so really what we're looking at is track B and track E.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Attorney, what's the procedure?
Mr. Chairman, basically is to determine, number one, a vote if the commission desires to sell the property and to determine the amount that the commission would require to be paid for the.
Is it not true that we abandoned it previously at a previous meeting?
That has
correct?
already been done,
So the
yes, sir.
road has already been abandoned by the board and voted on.
Yes, sir.
Our usually what we do is $100, is that right?
That's been the past, yes, sir.
That's been in the past. And I know this process is changing a little bit after this one tonight. Y'all have taught us some lessons too.
Correct.
And we're making a few adjustments to it to try to clear it up, make it a little bit easier. Do we offer them in individual tracks, or do we just, Mr. Sapp, y'all are willing to take track B, is that correct, for the $100? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
They
That would
told
be
you
correct.
that, Ms. Jones?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carruthers, y'all are willing to take track E for the $100, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that what we do? Is that it?
Yes, sir, just vote separately on each track.
Vote separate.
Chairman, yes, sir.
Is there a motion that we dispose of track B for $100 to Mr. Sapp?
I make that motion, Mr. Chairman, it's shown on our map, right?
Right.
Be the- Yes, sir.
0.40 acres, yes, sir.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Tankersley. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Now we're going to track E,
Yes, sir.
and we will do the same thing with track E for the $100 to Mr. Carruthers. Is there,
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
have a motion by Commissioner Tankersley? That's second.
Second, Mr.
Second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, do we actually know the actual acreage of that?
You do?
Track E is 0.14 acres.
Okay, thank you.
It's on, I don't know if
I
that's
couldn't
right.
find, yeah, I couldn't find it on here.
And the other one was .40.
Correct.
All right.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, and the motion's carried. Thank y'all, you've been with us a year. I know y'all were here in December, I believe, and back there, so hopefully we've got this worked out.
Chairman, if you don't mind, how would you like payment of that? Like, just present it,
I think you pay with a
present it when I pick up the deed?
check, money order, something, you pay the clerk, just come to the
No
commissioner's
problem, I'll just
office.
present it when I pick up the deed.
Sounds good.
Mr. Carruthers, y'all too. And I think Director Seymour, the deed's already ready for that?
I do know that Ms. Jones has already prepared one for the SAPs, and I've instructed Mr. Carruthers to have his attorney draw up the deed for his portion. I'm not sure that that's happened yet, but he needs a little more time. As soon as that happens, he'll go ahead and.
Well, when that happens, just come to the commissioner's office and see Clerk McCallum. And you'll provide those to her?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, if I just could, for clarification, once the deed is signed, then there's a $25 filing fee at the clerk of court's office, and that would be done by the purchasers.
Okay. It's 125 now.
Well, the commission would receive 100, they would pay Mandy Doss's office the $25 to file the deed.
That's $125.
Yes, sir.
You better move on to something else and keep going up. Okay, hopefully that's settled. Item number 16, a Lincoln County Declaration of Independence, my friend, Mr. Al Gray. Dang, he ain't brought a stick too, then. Mr. Gray, you know the rules. If you would, just state your name and where you live, like we don't know, but we do it for the record.
I'm gonna stick this right over here.
Al Gray, 2573 Salem Church Road. Chairman Norman and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. In these times, there's great fear of nuclear weapons, but this commission is treating even more powerful forces with cavalier contempt. Our Declaration of Independence rings with warnings over citizens' rights. Throughout recorded history, the record is clear. People rebel when treated unequally. Governments take more, and more until they go too far. At your October meeting, we addressed the unlawful closure of Public Road, Aramathea Church Road. Chairman Norman said that Sheriff's Captain Taylor would contact the landowner on that road to advise him of your decision that the road had to stay open. However, a locked gate was installed before November, about time hunting season came in. Tuesday, I walked inside that gate and took a picture of an internet camera on a tree taking a picture of me, followed shortly by a deputy sheriff intercepting me to say I was on private property once again. After a discussion, I understood that he was going to call that landowner to notify him of your decision. That gate is still up today. Your assurances have vanished. In 2021, I got a zoning matter response from Mr. Jackson referencing a zoning matter and in reference to my concern over Mr. Madison's alleged conflict. And I don't get into that, I don't have time. My concern became outraged in October because two plats affecting land disputes prepared by a firm had gone unrecorded in the official records of Lincoln County, Georgia. Whatever loophole in Georgia law that allows that from a surveyor on both the Planning Commission and the State Board of Registration for Surveyors, I intend to see the legislature close. Mr. Madison needs to choose between politics and surveying. Winning battles deep in engineering is well documented in 3 documents provided with this presentation. The Snyder case saw 2 civil engineers fail spectacularly, with one going to prison as a direct and indirect consequence of, respectively, of my involvement in the problematic land sale that triggered it all, and the subsequent legal threats against my aunt who sold the property. The Austin Roads article that I provided provides a forceful case for the power of citizens to use open records requests, real-time research, technology, and engineering to get what was a Mona Lisa of aggressive contracts by very powerful people stopped and amended against impossible odds. Just look what can come from a Lincoln County Pine Hill in a closet office. Our young people think that our generation robbed them, did nothing to protect them, and planned to die, leaving them in this upside-down world with no guidance. Some even want to give us all pill of justice for that. 30 years ago, I waved the sign here to try to prevent what has destroyed America since. I've never stopped. For more than a decade, I was out on the Republican line from Lincoln in Georgia, on C-SPAN, Washington Journal, getting after senators, congressmen, Federal Reserve bankers, CEOs, and even the FDIC chairwoman. To my fellow citizens, I've declared my independence of these politics. As others rose to join me in Augusta and Columbia County in reasserting theirs, I invite you to rejoin us as free men and women. Your submission to these politicians is a surrender to slavery. It is surprising that you let those gates stand. Public easement rights pertain to all. I have done the work to prove those rights stand. It's up to you to enforce that which weak politicians won't. To new citizens, Governor Lester Maddox once erected a huge billboard warning at the entry to a corrupt county. Unless something changes, we owe you a huge warning entering this one. We have those means through open records requests and online videos spawned by these 5-minute segments you allow us to have. All of these open records requests, our old Augusta team and Lincoln County did in 2021 have never been reported upon. They will be. To this commission, I offer this. Equal protection arises from doing to others and just plain decency between us as people. Like the British Crown at July 4th, 1776, you have pushed and pushed and pushed people closer to the edge. Stop. You picked on the wrong folks. Now, I'll amend what I said at the end of these comments, so I'll come up here and talk to anybody that needs to talk this thing over to try to work these things out. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and not intentional misconduct in this case. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gray, let me try to clear something up. Usually, I try not to say nothing after somebody speaks to where we can digest it and see what's doing. My understanding, and Mr. Jackson, you correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding of this is that on Metha Church Road, on the first parcel from the paved road to where I haven't been down there, but where you say the gate is. And I know the gate's down there, I've been told it's down. That is a deeded piece of property to Lincoln County back whenever it was in the clerk's office. From the gate down to the court, my understanding is that that is a road by prescription, which it means that there is no deed in Lincoln County Clerk of Court's office that the county was ever deeded that road. By prescription means the county has worked it over these years. I'm like you, I can go on Q Public, I can see where it went across the river and over into Jericho and the end of White Rock Road. My belief is, and I think that of the county attorney and Director Seymour and this board too. I can't speak for them, but they might not know exactly, explain to them like I've had. I don't think the gate can be there. I think the gate has to come down because we feel that is a county road. I think even in the last few days, Mr. Jackson, you've even asked them to take that gate down. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And I sent an email to the attorney down in Savannah explaining that there had been a deputy sheriff called on Mr. Gray very recently, and they needed to change.
Now, I personally, and I don't think Lincoln County thinks that that's a private piece of property going through there. He went to the Coa property. It was something down there. it is our understanding, and we've tried to fanatical around and understand it better, because this is something that don't come up very often. I don't think that Mr. whatever his name is, the new owner, never had this problem until the new man bought it.
Richard Lee.
I don't even know his name, but he's in Savannah, I think, but when I've never talked to him, but when I've read emails back and forth, but when he bought the property, he's the one that really started the problem. As far as I'm concerned, the gate needs to come down, and I think that's what has been told to him twice. Now, whether or not we go on down there and take that gate down, if Mr. Jackson tells me to, we'll instruct the road department to take the gate down. But I think that he was also told that the only way that wouldn't be public for people to go down it would be if he petitioned the county commissioners like we just had to abandon the road. You could buy it. $100. I reckon we'd go to auction it off if something changed, but and I think that's what we told him. His only option as far as that not being is to petition the county commissioners. It would come up to a vote as to whether or not we would vote to abandon the road. But as it stands today, I don't know what the sheriff's department's gonna do, or sheriff is gonna do, but we don't think that, our position is it's a county road, the public has the right to use. And the gate needs and must come down until that's determined.
Could I mention something? Because you
Yes.
sent me the email exchange, which was very informative and valuable. There are a lot of things in there that I think that should be discussed, but not here. But the previous owner made mention of the fact that this prospective buyer, this being this Mr. Lee that's bought the property, understood that this road was not a resolved issue. So he bought that land knowing it wasn't settled.
We understand that, but I just want you to know before you leave here, I agree, and the county attorney agrees that is a road by prescription, it's a public road today. And the only way it cannot be a public road is the county commission vote to abandon it. So,
Well, it's still the thing about these unrecorded plats, that's not a good public policy.
one is not.
Having these unrecorded deeds that don't get recorded, or plats rather, that don't get recorded in the clerk reports office, that's a pretty big problem. It probably doesn't exist in many counties because not many counties have all this Corps of Engineers property and have this potential conflict arise.
You forgot more about this than I'll ever know, and I know you know what you're talking about when you talk. But I think you got lots of roads by prescriptions in lots of counties. And that's not deeded. It's not, it's not just to Lincoln County. And a lot of those roads, if you go look at it, when they backed the lake up, they just closed up on their own and grew up, but anyway, call me, I'm willing to talk to you anytime. So if you'll do that, we'll sit down and have a conversation about it.
Well, that would be good. I did notice that you've got almost a year's worth of T-Splosh discretionary funds, so that's a little bit of money to spend on that road and other roads too. I mean, y'all are kind of sequestering a whole year's worth.
Well, asphalt's about $300,000 a mile now. That's the reason we use $61,000 stuff, but just to let you know, this year we probably spent somewhere around $400,000 just patching county roads. And if it wasn't for T-Splosh, we'd probably have a lot of roads going back to dirt roads. But anyway, feel free to call me.
Well, one last comment. This isn't as you kind of hit on, we've got an influx of people from all over the country that are coming to Georgia, and there's a lot of rural counties, and there's a lot more counties in this state than really we need. And this is something that's, these kind of issues are going to come up all over the place, not just here.
And I agree with you, it's way too many counties.
And a lot of counties don't have knucklehead like me. It's going to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 17, Captain Taylor Jail Food Services Contract, and I'm gonna try to move this on pretty quick. All this has been through. Sir, you come to this podium, tell me what you want to talk about, and I'll decide whether you can or not.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith, what, you are not on the agenda. To address the county commission, you have to be on the agenda by 12 o'clock on Monday prior to the Thursday commission meeting. If you want to speak on an agenda item, we give you, I think, 3 minutes to do that. But if you don't have an agenda item that you're wanting to address that's on this, that we've talked about, you're gonna have to get on the agenda and come back next month.
Next month.
Yeah, but you're gonna need to call the commissioner's office, and I know you know the number, and get on the agenda prior to the meeting. In fact, I can put you on it now if you wanna be on it.
Yes, sir.
You wanna come next month?
Yeah,
Okay, and you wanna talk about which road?
on Goldman Hill.
Okay, we got you. Put Mr. Smith on next month, come to the meeting.
What date?
It'd be the second Thursday, whatever day, I think that, I don't know, what's that date? It's the second Thursday in February.
Could I get it on paper?
10th, Chairman.
Write it down. So I won't
Excuse me,
forget.
the 9th.
What?
The 9th, Chairman.
The ninth.
February the 9th.
6 o'clock.
January the 9th,
February the 9th, 6 o'clock.
February.
February 9th.
The 9th.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank y'all.
Okay, Captain Taylor.
Chairman, Board of Commissioners, I come to you tonight in reference to the jail food service contract. We are going in a year-to-year basis so far, and the price of food, like everywhere else, is going up, and as we start the new year and a new contract, there is an increase percentage. I believe in the work session, we figured it out to be about 70 cents. I can't quite remember the exact figure, but was that about right? Close to it, 70 cents, so.
Do you have that, Director Dawson?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
It was,
I think I got it 2.772. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
yes, sir. I didn't have that open, I'm sorry.
Price per meal,
Huh.
price per meal, right?
You're right.
2.772.
2.772. And that's three meals a day.
3 meals a day, yes, sir.
It's like 22 cents a meal.
22 cent a meal difference each meal, so
Roughly 70 cents, 66, 70 cents a day.
Okay, we discussed this and we got it, so. Is there a motion then that we accept the contract for the jail food services with,
Summit.
Summit Foods?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, there, second.
I second it.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion?
It's still a decent deal with the cost of food going up like it is, so I think it's.
All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Thank you, Captain Taylor.
Thank you.
Item number 18, recreation grant with Leisure Service Director Blunt's not here. We went over this with her last week, and what she's wanting to do is to apply for this grant with the CSRA Regional Commission. And what we're doing is giving her the authority to apply for the grant in the amount of $5,000. Need a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Item 19, purchase of turnout gear for the fire department's Director Brown. And we got some fire department people here tonight. Good to have y'all here. Thank you for what you do, each and every one of you.
Yes, sir, Commissioner, or Chairman of Commissioners, I was going to recognize I think the longest standing chief in Lincoln County from Midway Fire Department, Bobby Burgess. And he brought his crew with him, so y'all might want to think about that when we do this vote here in just a minute.
Yeah. Bobby, boy, he's about 80 years old, still out there working.
All right, this item is an emergency purchase for turnout gear for firefighters in 4 different departments in the county. Midway Fire Department, Beulah Fire Department, Loco Fire Department, also firefighters at the Office of Emergency Services. I would like to thank Commissioner Henderson and Chief Burgess for their work on getting this together. They have worked extensively on the quote that you have in your packet there to put this together. Fire gear has increased in price like everything else, and so what we're looking at is 20 sets of personal protective equipment, if you will, or turnout gear distributed across these 4 departments. The price that is on the quote ultimately is $85,070. We're asking tonight for permission to spend up to $90,000 because there may be shipping and other fees associated. So not to exceed $90,000 to fulfill this request by multiple fire departments.
Okay, this is emergency purchase for the reason that, January 19th, we will see an 8% increase in this price, so we wanted to go ahead and do this under our emergency purchasing procedure. Is that correct, Director Dawes? Did I say that right?
Yes, sir, Chairman, and also all the equipment that we're replacing in the fire departments is all out of date, and then we need new equipment in EMS.
Right. So they are out of date. This will be Lincoln County equipment, be owned by the county and designate to which one of the fire departments that they go to, that they will, it'd be in our inventory, but they will have it at whichever one. As he said, it's 20 turnout gears, not to exceed $90,000. We will pay for this from Splosh 6 of $36,000, and the balance of $54,000 will come from the general fund of the county. That will be the total of $90,000. If we're not going to spend over 90, might be a little less. If I said that correctly now, I just need a motion to approve. Okay, is there a motion to approve the turnout gear?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know, saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. The motion's carried, and we hope y'all protect it. Again, thank you for what you do. Without you, we'd be in serious problem. Item 20 is the pre-disaster hazardous mitigation plan, Director Bruno.
Chairman and Commissioners, the pre-disaster hazard mitigation program is a living document where we assess in 5-year terms the threats to the county. It affects our emergency operations plan. It is required by FEMA in order to be eligible for disaster funds should there be a disaster. That's kind of apropos that we were under a tornado warning just a little while ago. So this project is going to be $30,645. This is paid for, that's the total grant. The county's part is $1,466.64, which will be achieved by in-kind funds. We will meet regularly, and the hours for that will pay the labor cost, or for the grant, or portion with the county. So I'm asking tonight for approval to apply for this grant to fulfill our responsibility with FEMA, as well as to contract with the CSRARC for assistance in developing the plan.
Is there a motion that we apply for this grant with the CSRA Regional Commission for the hazardous mitigation? $30,645. The federal government pays $27,580.50. State government $1,597.86, and the local government through either cash or in kind. We understand all in kind. $1,466.64. Now motion.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let me know, saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Director Broom, that completed yours, did it?
Yes, sir.
Item 21, we postponed. That's Senator Lee Anderson calling me now. I'll call him back in a minute. Item number 22 is hazardous solid waste trust fund reimbursement. Director Seymour.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is an item that we discussed at length in the Commissioner's work session last week. Since we've closed the landfill out on New Petersburg Road, The trust fund allows us to get reimbursed for monies that we use to monitor the wells out at the old landfill. And this actually goes back to 2007. We get a percentage of the money that we have spent since '07 to current. That total amount is $24,000. I think there's some change in there. I don't have the exact amount with me. But what it requires is two things. It requires this board to adopt the resolution, which you have in your book. I think Mr. Jackson has already reviewed it and approved that resolution. And then the second thing is that Mr. Jackson would have to prepare a deed stating basically that there is an old landfill on it. It's a 50-year deed that would have to be recorded, and then I would submit the application along with the approved resolution and the deed, recorded deed to EPD, and the county would receive that $24,000 reimbursement from the monies that we have spent over the last.
Okay, we've discussed this. Thank you for briefing us again. Is there a motion that we accept this and give me the authority to sign the resolution and deeds, and Mr. Jackson prepare what he needs?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is that a second?
A second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Item 23, Lincoln County Paul's annual contract renewal. As you know, this is a continuation budget. Looks like comes up every year. We have an agreement for services with Lincoln County Paul's. We pay them $8,000 a year to provide this service to the county. Is there a motion that we approve this agreement and give me the authority to sign the agreement with Lincoln County Paul's?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Tankersley. Any discussion on the motion?
Thankful for what they do, Mr. Chairman.
Chair is no more. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Item number 24, CSRA Alliance for Fort Gordon. We do this each and every year too. Development Authority pays half. We pay half. Our part is $2,500 for Lincoln County to have a seat at the table with the Fort Gordon Alliance, and keeps us up with everything going on in Fort Gordon and surrounding 5 or 6 counties that were asked to be members, and fortunately, we one of them. Our motion that we pay this $2,500.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item number 25 is the board appointments. I think we got this right. Development Authority Board, District 1. Commissioner Henderson, I hope you ain't got one for that one.
No, sir.
Good. We'll move on, leave that one blank. District 2, on the Development Authority, Commissioner Collins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I would like to appoint Beth Antonakis.
Okay, you got a motion to appoint Beth Antonakis to represent District 2 by Commissioner Collins. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a motion second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Clerk, we will get letters to these people just as quickly as possible, as we always do. We have another one for District,
At large.
we have an at-large district.
Stephen Dawkins.
All right, Stephen, I got it here. I got to find it. Stephen Dawkins will represent the at-large position, who will be appointed by me. I can't make a motion, so I'm requesting that Stephen Dawkins continue to serve on the Development Authority for another term. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. We have a at-large position. And Jeremy Dawkins, his time has expired. He is willing, and most of the board that I talked to, all of them that I talked to, not most, all that I talked to, as well as director, would like for him also to continue on the Development Authority Board. Is there a motion that we appoint Jeremy Dawkins back to the Development Authority for another term?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. That takes care of the Development Authority. Okay, we go to the Library Board, District 1, Commissioner Henderson. I think that you're replacing Miss Evelyn Norman, who resigned.
But I don't have anybody.
Okay, we'll bring that back up. District 2, Commissioner Collins.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to appoint Beth Beggs.
Have a motion by Commissioner Collins to appoint Beth Biggs back to the Library Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is done. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried, and Ms. Biggs is reappointed. The next one is Nikki Smith, who currently serves on the board, and he needs to be appointed by me. But I can't make a motion, but I'd like to recommend Nikki Smith continue on the Library Board. Need a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second, Mr.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. The motion's carried. Is that it? Okay. Get sure I'm reading this right. Item C, Planning and Zoning Board, District 2.
Ian Scott.
Wait a minute, District, let me get my stuff together here. I got a District 2, Commissioner Collins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to appoint Ann Scott,
Okay,
or reappoint.
reappoint. Got a motion by Commissioner Collins to reappoint Ms. Ann Scott to the Planning and Zoning Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. And Ms. Scott will remain on the Planning and Zoning Board. District 3, Commissioner Clyde.
Yes, sir, I'd like to, with district lines changing, he became mine, but I called him and he accepts again, and, the rest of the members think a lot of him. I'd like to nominate Bobby Strozier.
Okay, Commissioner Clyde has made a motion on Mr. Bobby Strozier to remain on the Planning and Zoning Board. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Commissioner Tankersley. And what's happened right there is those districts changed. A lot of this, our districts changed. 1st of January, we have to work this thing out. And God, you got a motion by Clyde, second by Tankersley. Any discussion on the motion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. District 4 is Commissioner Tankersley.
I nominate Mr. Jim Aycock to fill Mr. Coleman's place.
Okay,
It was 3, but it's gonna be 4.
You got a motion by Commissioner Tankersley to appoint Jim Aycock to represent District 4 on the Planning and Zoning Board. Is that a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Got a second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Mr. Seymour, you have a new board member. We'll be getting in touch with him and letting him know that he's been appointed by Commissioner Tankersley too. What's my next one? Tax assessors.
Recreation Advisory.
Now I got Recreation Advisory Board, District 2, Commissioner Collins.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I am not prepared to nominate anybody.
Okay. That's one of the ones me and you had to switch around, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, the next one is Grant College, and he needs to be moved to my spot to continue on the Recreation Board, so I can't make a motion, but I recommend him, Grant College, several Recreation Board.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, the motion's carried. Board of Tax Assessors, Commissioner Collins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I would like to reappoint Betty Bunch.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Collins has recommended that Miss Betty Bunch continue her service for another term on the Board of Tax Assessors. Our second.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. And Miss Betty C. Bunch will remain on the Board of Tax Assessors. We have a elections board. I have talked to Mr. Jim Allen, who represented the county commissioners on the Board of Elections. You know, that's 5-member board. We appoint 3. The Board of Education appoints 1, and the City of Lincoln appoints 1. I would like to recommend that we appoint Mr. Glenn Creech to the election board. I can't make a motion. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, is our second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Tangley, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Is there a motion that we adjourn?
I so move.
That's second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carried. We stand adjourned.